Hey, Ray, we started the show.
Well, if you couldn't already tell, Ray's internet is suddenly not working. So, hey, everybody, we've got 3 points to talk about from 5 or something days ago now, but it's 3 points nonetheless. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
How's it going, everyone? Hopefully y'all can hear me. I was having internet issues as the countdown began, and I'm freaking out. And yes, thank you, Dylan, for jumping in there and taking care of the intro there. Hey, how we doing, everyone? Welcome to the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. You already know one of my co-host this week. That's Dylan. Dylan, how are you feeling after getting the 3 weeks? What is it? Almost a week ago.
3 weeks?
3 points. Sorry, 3 points.
3 points. There we go. Okay,
You knew what I meant. Everyone knew what I meant.
I did not know. Oh, good. And to do it against Phoenix and to do it, we'll talk about this later on, but to do it in that style feels really good as we head into the playoffs.
Definitely. Also helping us out or taking part in this episode, we got the man in Vegas, Mr. Brad. Brad, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling quite good after that, what I will refer to as the coldest cold open of all time. Thank you, Dylan, for saving us from another Samora Out episode.
It's always the Samora Out episode, actually.
I feel that's the way it always goes, and I guess eventually that'll happen someday. You all will be sad. The next person definitely wants Samora Out because he wants, for some reason, thinks I'm funny and wants to be funny. Mr. Larry. Larry, how we doing?
I could not be any better. I mean, that's just, it's podcast gold right there. I mean, you just can't top that. And Brad, we don't need to thank Dylan here. We need to thank producer Andy for stepping in and, sorting things out there. So producer Andy, hero as always.
The show's live.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Yeah. And then we got us extra guest here helping us out this week. And that is the free orange, La Naranja Libre. How we doing?
Thank you for having me, Ray. Always doing great. Winning's awesome. Winning against Phoenix is always special. So thank you for having me.
And jumping back a few weeks back, we were joking a little bit about a Halloween costume episode off air, I think. And it was going to be like wrestling themed. So you're already ready for it. You might welcome. Come on back in a few weeks when it's Halloween time.
I get asked for people to buy my mask so often, Ray. So absolutely. So I'll be back.
Perfect. So obviously there was no match this past weekend. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their weekend away from Orange County Soccer Club. Maybe there was other stuff you were reviewing, but there was still a match between our last episode and now. That happened last Wednesday at home versus Phoenix Rising, and an interesting match, in terms of Coach Danny Stone, his first match against his former team that he was coaching previous or earlier in the season. So that was definitely an interesting, a chippy match, which I think anytime you play against Phoenix, there's some chippiness. And I'm sure there were, for the people that were at the stadium and for those of us that were watching the stream or the broadcast, some yelling at either the TV or the refs for some interesting calls or non-calls during this match. But all in all, a great performance for Orange County. It's sort of coinciding with this past weekend's results around the league. They've now got themselves a little cushion in that 8 seed. And I know we were all freaking out about a month ago about where this team is heading. How confident are you after this match, Dylan?
It's still one match at a time, but I spoke to this a few weeks ago. Being able to defend for an hour and a half is going to be really crucial, and being able to not concede is going to be really crucial for Orange County. It's been the shakiness, and if we don't concede, at least if we're not scoring, we can drag it to PKs. That's how we won a cup in 2021. Save for the final, we earned that outright. But this felt a lot like a gritty playoff match. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Phoenix again if things go well for Orange County. And it really reminded me a lot of the 2018 game. So sorry, Brad, against Reno in the Western Conference semis, where Orange County won 1-0 and was just up against it pretty much the whole match. Very little possession, but it doesn't matter because we came forward with the win.
Brad, let me ask you your thoughts on this match against Phoenix, and maybe let us know like who stood out for you in this match for Orange County.
Yeah, in this match, I previewed this and I said that we were going to see a red card. I mean, I wasn't far off. I think 8 yellow cards is a statistical anomaly of how rough this game was, and I think the ref did a really good job from stopping it getting out of hand. It was a very, very gritty game, like Dylan alluded to. But, big shout out to Zubak to being where he needed to be, creating or finishing on the opportunities that were given to him. I remember at the very beginning of the season, we were talking about how this team needed a double-digit goal scorer, and the team had brought in Zubak for that reason. And like 5 weeks ago, we were saying that Zubak was kind of dead in the water. And I think now he's up to 8 goals on the year. Nobody stat tracked me on that. With 4 of his goals coming in his last 3 games or 4 games. So Zubak is back. Hopefully more of that, and Orange County will start earning those points that they need to get into the playoffs. Still toting that 8th place line. Phoenix dropped a huge stinker of an end game against our upcoming opponent this week that I'll allude to more later. But the door is wide open for us to go take, and it's up to the team to go take it now.
Well, and talking about the playoff situation, the nice thing here is Orange County's in control of their fate at this point now. With the way the standings are set up, with where they are, they can only blame themselves at this point now if they can't do what they need to do to make it to the playoffs. I believe they're sitting 4 points ahead of, I know Tulsa's one of them. I can't remember who else. I know Tulsa has a match in hand, but even with that, the max they can get off that is 3 points, which means Orange County still would be in control of their fate there. So again, going back even just a month ago, none of us would have thought that's where Orange County would be at this point. After a tough match against Phoenix. Larry, thoughts on this Phoenix match for you? Were you loving what you saw there, or was there anything that worried you?
I think this is one of the better games that this team has played this season. Phoenix they're still Phoenix. They're a good soccer team. And to hold them to, I think they only had 3 shots total, 1 shot on goal. Our defense that we had been hoping and praying and waiting for to show up all season showed up Saturday night. They were closing off lanes. They were intercepting passes. Marcus was a monster back there on Saturday night, and that was great to see. Again, I'm going to talk about Pedro again. This kid's solid. He's a player. And he was making Lawrence Wake look just like foolish. And this is a 16-year-old out there making grown men look like clowns, which I was more than happy to let Wake know about all night when I was up in the stands because I wasn't on the field the entire time. This is a great performance by the team. Zubak bagging a couple of more goals. Let's just hope that this opens a floodgate for Ethan to just start burying them on a game after game after game after game until the season ends, because that's something that we've been needing all year. And to finally start getting it here, I think 4 goals in the last, it's either 3 or 4 games. I don't know exactly, but 4 goals in the last 2 home games. And that was great to see. Josh just said it on there. Phoenix was dirty. It was a very chippy game, and Phoenix was playing more physical than our boys were, but our guys kept really good control of themselves and kept their tempers in check. and really just played a great game from first whistle to last whistle.
It was playoff physical, and at this point, these are playoff games, matches for these teams, especially teams that are fighting for a spot. Now, I am curious because you're excited about the performance from Pedro Guimaraes. I know I'm saying his name incorrectly. I apologize, but I wondering if you were watching the same match that I was watching, because I feel like this was the first match where he looked like a 16-year-old playing against men. We even saw a tactical change midway through the first half where Ryan Dogman was pushed back. I think initially Ryan Dogman was more on the attacking side and Pedro was back on defense. And I believe midway through that first half, Coach Stone switched that up and brought Ryan Dogman back on defense and pushed Pedro up higher. And then obviously at halftime, there was the sub out. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but patiently, I appreciate the patience from La Naranja Libre over there. What were your thoughts on this match and Orange County's performance in a must-win match against Phoenix?
Sure. Thank you, Ray. I think the biggest difference from this match versus previous weeks was you could just sense a sense of enjoyment from the players to be out there. They've obviously been pretty frustrated with some of the outcomes recently, and that's translated into, some not as great results on the pitch. But it seemed like coming out on Wednesday, they were like, let's just relax. Let's enjoy being here. And that translated into some great plays. Seeing Zubak score his goals and how excited he was after the match, coming over to the supporter section. He acted like he had just won the Super Bowl. He was so excited. And it was kind of really great to see, because I know that he's not performed the way that I know that he would like to in some parts of this year. So to really see him getting so excited, enjoying being there, was just an awesome moment to see. So it was great to see that. And hopefully they can harness that energy and keep that here over the next few weeks.
Now, let me ask you. We just heard Larry's thoughts on Pedro, and I get it. He's a 16-year-old kid. I'm not trying to bash him on this show. I thought I saw this is the first time where maybe he looked like a youngster that is playing against men. Thus, like I said, some tactical changes. Larry was impressed with what he saw from Pedro in this match. What are your thoughts? And again, not trying to bash the kid. Just I want to just sort of figure out your thoughts, what you saw from him from this match and also his previous matches.
The Aliso legend himself. No, I think there's been moments in every match where he's kind of shown his level of experience and what he's doing. But I think overall he's maintained really solid in terms of what he's been doing with his positioning, really staying physical with the other men out there. Really, I know when I was 16 years old, I probably would have been pushed around quite a bit by some of these strong guys out there. So I think we're going to see that throughout the rest of the season with him, where he's going to have really great moments, and then you'll have moments that you're like, oh, right, you are 16 years old. But overall, I think there's tons of upside with him. Looking forward to see what he's able to do.
And I again, not trying to bash him, and I'm from Aliso Viejo, so I'm glad to see Aliso Viejo soccer player out there being successful. And I've been really impressed with his performances. I just think this was the first time where I wasn't as confident after I saw him in the first 10 minutes. And I believe it was just whoever, I forget who Phoenix had out there on their like sort of right wing, was just quick and knew what to do. And I think Pedro was having a hard time dealing with that early on the match. Dylan, am I wrong in my thoughts on that, or is Larry wrong with his praise of Pedro in this match? So I think Dylan's audio is having some issues here. So I'm going to pass this question on to Brad. Brad, you get to take on this question. Go for it.
And I need you to repeat it again.
So I was just asking, my analysis of Pedro's, I guess, a little bit more on the negative side. Although, again, not trying to bash him. He's 16 years old playing against professional men out there. I've been pleased with what I've seen from him, but this was the first match where I was nervous watching him on defense against Phoenix for the first 15 minutes of the match. Or do you agree with Larry that he looked good out there?
I'll take the middle route for once in my life here, and I understand the concern given that Pedro is playing in probably the chippiest game he's ever played in his life. That Phoenix team was definitely very, I don't want to use the word dirty, but aggressive. And it's very worrisome to see someone who's 16 and going against that. Regardless of saying that, however, I do side a little bit more with Larry and Libra about the fact that he wasn't a liability in my eyes. There were no opportunities given up. And when you're playing in a game like this, not being a liability is probably the best compliment you can give someone who's playing in probably one of the biggest games of their life.
Yeah, no, I've been impressed with him. I just felt like there's a reason why Coach Stone is making that tactical change. He's seeing something, probably what I was seeing in there in the moment. And it was Gerald Margarita from Phoenix that seemed to have Pedro's number out there, was using some speed and some physicality to get by him. And I saw a couple times, and this is something that I try and coach not to do, is a couple stabs at the ball, sort of outstretched foot to stab at the ball. And then the other player drove by him. I'm going to go to you, Dylan, really quick, and then I'll give Larry one last chance to talk about this before we do our final thoughts on this match.
I mean, assuming this works, and
Yep.
assuming you want me to answer the same question, I'm not going to criticize the kid because he did really well. Again, Orange County was up against it for this whole match. Very little possession, few chances created. Cool. He was responsible for a lot because you've got Ryan Dogman getting really high up the pitch right in front of you, and you suddenly have a lot to cover in case there's a turnover. And he did that well, and he works really well with Marcus Nakeem and Dylan Powers. So I'm not going to fault him at all. We have seen much, much, much worse performances. Let him ride. He seems to be hot right now, and we're at a benefit because, again, we've talked about this almost ad nauseum at this point, but Ryan Dogman is now free to get so much further up the pitch, and that gives us the chance to actually create things, even when we have like 20-something% of the ball.
Larry, last thoughts on this match?
How fun is it watching Ryan Dogman get that high up the pitch, though? I'm loving this setup that Danny Stone has been doing with these players, and I knew Dogman was a good player. I knew he was a fantastic player. I did not know that he had some of the abilities that he has shown over the last couple of weeks since he's moved more forward, moved up higher of the pitch. It's fun to watch. Again, I feel like this was one of the best games all around that this team has played. 3 shots on goal, 2 goals, 67% success rate. You take that all day, every single day, every night, every game, 34 times a year. So congratulations to the boys. Congratulations to Danny Stone. A huge win. Let's move on to the next topic.
Well,
Which would
really
be
quick,
Brad
before we
yawning.
do, I want to make sure no one else on here has any last thoughts or comments they want to say on the match against Phoenix.
But you told me I
Awesome.
had the last comment.
I changed my mind, Larry. Sorry about that. So here's the thing.
More out.
Orange County under Coach Danny Stone, the first match, wasn't as fun. A 3-2 loss to Las Vegas after being up 2-0. But since then, 3 straight matches of clean sheets on defense. You had the 1-0 victory over Rhode Island, the 0-0 draw on the road in Monterey Bay, and then the 2-0 victory over Phoenix at home. Now they're back on the road, and guess who their opponent is? They are now going to look to seek revenge against the last team to defeat them, the last team to score on them, and that is Las Vegas Lights in Las Vegas. I would assume Brad's going to try and make a trip out to that match if he can, but the disappointing part for traveling fans, I guess no more kiddie pools at Cashman Stadium, which that was fun when Orange County fans took over those kiddie pools. Mr. Libre, let me ask you, are you making the trip out to Vegas?
No, I'm not. I'm in a youth soccer jail for the entire weekend, pretty much all the way through the end of November. But would love to do it. I do think our group needs to take credit for the kiddie pools no longer being there because we were so awesome with them last year. They probably said they can't have that on their home turf anymore. So we'll take credit for that.
Yeah, I will definitely be part of that, taking credit for that, because I think I was part of the wild group trying to convince players to jump into the pool any moment they got. And I feel you with the youth soccer weekends are just stuck. It's hard to make those trips. I'm going to ask you, since I just was speaking with you, what are your thoughts on this match? Are you nervous about this road match and a revenge match, or do you think that Orange County has figured things out and they're going to look to be good in Vegas?
So I think if you look at the last time they played, Stone had been managing the team for like 72 hours at that point, maybe even less than that. They got 2 early goals up, and then we kind of folded at the end. So really, had we kind of stuck together, really it was a 2-1 outcome that kind of got away from us. So I think the way that the boys are playing now, and we have to remember at the beginning of the season, there was a big undefeated streak we had to start the season. So clearly the players have the ability to go on big runs and be able to be successful. So I think we're going to get revenge on this one, and I really feel good about us getting the win in Las Vegas this weekend.
Dylan, are you as confident as the Orange Libre?
No, I'm going to give the 2024 Las Vegas Lights the respect that they deserve, because they deserve to be 5th right now, I believe. I'm going to fact check myself really quick. 4th. My apologies, Las Vegas Lights. Look, Joey Bats took over, and they're no longer throwing cash out of helicopters, and the kiddie pools are gone. I say, let's bring some kiddie pools. Marcus Nakim's got a party somewhere. And look, if we play like we did against Phoenix, I honestly think we come away with a result. If you give Ryan Dogman a shorter field to run on, I think he can cause more problems.
I always love, like, Dylan just gives some nice, simple, sweet answers there that we can go with. Brad, so we got Dylan, who's not as confident. We got Senor Libre, who's pretty confident in this. Where are you sitting? Are you going to take that middle ground again?
No, I'm not going to take the middle ground in this case. Also, I love that you say Dylan is short and sweet, and then you're going to go to the guy who's going to spend the next 5 minutes talking, because he knows a lot about this team for once. Vegas is a different team than they've ever been. They are scoring with Corey Bennett, who has 12 goals on the season, and their entire offense goes through that right-hand side of the field, which is coincidentally where 2-time league MVP Solomon Asante plays when he plays his 60, 70 minutes. I'm assuming he's going to continue to start as well. There's a lot of threats on this team who are capable of making room, and most importantly, from where I've seen them scoring their goals, they capitalize off of any team's mistakes. Unlike a lot of other teams in this league, and one team I know that is very good about making mistakes is in Orange County. Of their last 4 goals scored, 3 of them were capitalizing off opponent mistakes, including against Sacramento, in a very close down to the wire game that they had control of the ball the entire way after Sacramento went up early. Look, Vegas is a lot better than they've been in the past. They play a lot more ball control based offense, like holding the ball. They like distributing it out the wings and crossing it in for Corey Bennett to score, which is where he's been his most successful. And just as they showed 3-4 weeks ago when they came back and won 3-2 after going down 2 goals, they did it again against the same opponent we just beat 2-0 this week. They scored a 94th and a 97th minute goal against Phoenix Rising after being down 1-0 in like the 70th minute. This team is going to fight back, and they're never really out of a game. It's going to be a lot tougher opponent than Phoenix was for us. And if Phoenix gave us such trouble, Vegas is going to control this ball like 70% of the game. And we really will have to capitalize on what few opportunities we get if we want revenge against Vegas for what they did a couple weeks back.
All right, I'm going to go to you, Larry, and I'm hoping you can bring some positivity here, because we've had 2 negative thoughts on this upcoming match, or at least nervous thoughts on this upcoming match. Larry, are you confident heading into this match in Vegas? What does Orange County have to do to get this victory?
Orange County, to get this victory, needs to score 1 more goal than Las Vegas does. Simple as that. It's all feels. It's no tactics. Sorry, Dylan. I know you were expecting so much more out of me, but it wasn't going to happen. I like the way this team is playing right now. These last 3 games, they have looked, again, The defenses looked like the defense that we were expecting, like the defense that we had to start the season. And I think that that is going to continue. And I think that that is what's going to carry us into the playoffs. How deep that playoff run is going to go, I don't know. I mean, if we got to go to Phoenix in round, or not Phoenix, if we got to go to New Mexico in round one of the playoffs, that scares the crap out of me. That's not going to be a good time for anybody. All we can do is keep our fingers crossed. But the way Danny Stone has made the changes to the team that he has, the formations that he's putting out there, the players that he's putting out there, the guys that are getting healthy again. We got Kevin Partita back in the starting 11 for the first time since April. When he went down, he was again playing the best soccer of his career. And now he's back and he's healthy. And I don't remember how many minutes he had. I don't know if he played the full 90 or not. I don't remember at that last game. But that's a huge key to this team. I don't think we're going to have Kyle back for this game on Saturday, but hopefully he's back on Wednesday against I think the next opponent's Colorado, if I remember right. But I think the team's going to be fine. If we can come out of there with a tie, I will be absolutely satisfied with a tie. If we can come out of there with 3 points, I'll be even happier.
There we go. Let's do some quick score predictions for this match. And I'm going to let La Naranja Libre go first.
I am predicting 2-1 for the good guys, OCSE.
2-1 for the good guys. Who's scoring that first goal for Orange County? Who do you think will do that?
I think Dogman.
Dogman's going to get the first goal of the match.
Get it.
Nice.
He's been hunting for one lately. Let's go.
Nice. Let's go. Dylan.
I'm going to go 2-1 Orange County, Ethan Zubak.
Brad.
I'm going to go 2-2. Why not get double-digit Zuby goals in this game?
So another brace for Zuby from Brad. What about you, Larry?
1-0 Orange County.
Awesome. And we got Russell up on the chats predicting 2-0 Orange County. Hey, I'm going to go 1-0 Orange County. This is going to be a tough match. It's going to be gritty. Orange County is going to find a way to get a goal. I think, Zubak's found his scoring. I think he'll be able to continue that. This is something that we've been looking for, and he's finally figured it out. So I think he will get that goal for Orange County. But I think Brad's the only one that is predicting not an Orange County victory in this match. But hey, he is in Vegas, so he knows a little bit more about what's going on in Vegas. They probably even talk about Vegas in the sports scores on the news in your area, Brad. But let's do this. We're going to move on. We got a guest waiting to jump on here, make his debut on this show, a youngster for Orange County who has now made 11 appearances, I believe, this season. Instead of playing, high school or college level soccer, he's playing with the big boys, professional second division soccer in the U.S. Mr. Ben Norris. Ben, welcome to our show.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, and we're glad to have you on this episode. Share with us. I mean, as a young player coming, through Orange County's academy, getting an opportunity to get some big minutes in 2024. How does that feel?
Obviously, it feels super, super good. Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to play professionally, so obviously I've accomplished that dream. But it's been definitely a long journey with OC for sure. I've been here for 3 years now, and this year definitely a breakout year for me. So I've been really happy. Yeah.
And share with our listeners that, what's that experience like for you? You've, like you said, you've been here for 3 years. You've been in the academy. Obviously there's been some success there. Obviously the team saw something in you with your play with the academy and say, hey, let's give Ben some minutes here with the first team. Obviously you have to train with grown men, 20, 30 something year old men. How does that, how do you approach that? How does it feel going into those moments?
I would say the biggest thing is just to be confident. Just believe in yourself, know that you can do it. I mean, obviously, like the older guys like Seth and Dill are going to have more experience than you, but it's all about working hard and just kind of doing the harder parts of the game at times. And yeah, just going in every day, knowing that you're going to make mistakes, but just trying to learn from it and learn from the guys around you.
And have your teammates been pretty supportive of you and
Yeah.
helping you develop and taking you under their wing and giving you some pointers and some tips?
For sure, for sure. I mean, the guys are great. I've learned so much in my 3 years here, and I definitely feel like I've been improving week in, week out training with them. So it's been good.
Yeah, no, we've seen the development, we've seen the growth. I know we have some of our listeners that actually follow the reserve team or the academy team and watch you all play. They go to matches, and I think you're one of those players that had this spark that people were really excited to see, and we love to see that it's continued going into that first team. What was it like? What has it been like playing a large amount of minutes this year? It's not like you're only going in for a couple minutes here and there. You've actually gotten some starts, I believe. You've gotten big minutes on the pitch. How does that feel, and how does that sort of relate to what your career goals are as a soccer player?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm still young, so I hope my career goes for a lot longer than it is now. So getting minutes now with the first team and starts will help me progress my career in the future. But yeah, starting with OC this season has been really helpful for me, growing my profile and having people see me and getting a little bit more hype about me, which has been really nice. But yeah, I mean, this season's been really good for me.
I'm going to hand it off to one of our other guests here that's joining us to ask you a question or two.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ben, Larry, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I couldn't be better. So glad to have you here. And this is not a question, this is just a statement. And I've told you this before, but I want everybody out there listening tonight who has not heard me say this. Ben Norris gave me the greatest moment of the entire season last season. And that is when he took down 6'3", 210-pound Kevin Lambert. It was the most beautiful thing. And Ben, every time I get the chance to talk with you, I'm going to thank you for that moment because I can't stand that guy. So beautiful. Thank you so much. So question for you. You're a young man. You just turned 18 last month.
Mm-hmm.
Super important question. I don't care which way you're going. Did you register to vote?
I am registered to vote. Yeah.
Excellent. Well done.
I will be voting. Election.
I'm not going to ask anything further than that, but you registered to vote. Good job.
Yeah.
So again, let's go back to being a young man. At what point, when did you realize on the soccer pitch, I'm really good at this? I might be able to make a career and actually make money doing this. How long ago was that for you? When did you see that?
To be honest, I never really thought about it. It kind of all just happened. Like I was playing, so I live down in San Diego, and I commute up every day. So I was playing for my local team in San Diego, and I was playing in a game and I got scouted by the academy scout for OC, and I was just kind of like, let's give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. And I mean, obviously it all ended up working out, but I never really had a moment where I was like, I could become a pro. It just all kind of snowballed into that.
Well, it seems to be working out really well so far, and we are all really enjoying watching you play out there. I'm not going to ask too many questions tonight. I'm just going to say keep doing what you're doing. We are all very proud of you. We are super happy to have you here on the show. And Chris, right below me, the guy in the mask, Chris is going to be up next.
Hey, Ben. So there's been a lot of talk already about your physical style of play. And I'll tell you, we've endearingly given you the enforcer moniker on the club. So is this a style of play that you've always had, or have you kind of grown into this at the USL Championship level?
Yeah, I feel like for me, playing with older guys kind of forces me to be a little bit more physical than what I would be if I was playing with my own age. I don't feel like I've grown into that style. I've always kind of had like a little bit of a more aggressive type of play, sometimes too aggressive. But no, I feel like it's kind of always been there, and I think it's a good part of my game.
I don't know, Chris, do you have any other questions for Ben, or do we want to move it on to someone else?
We can move on. Thank you, Ben. And we definitely appreciate your physical style of play. And I'm a big fan of tactical yellow, so keep it up.
Ben, welcome to the show. Why number 35? What led you to that?
I actually didn't get to choose. Yeah, they kind of do it like every player. So like Nico is 32, Ash is 33, and then I signed, or 34, I think was Mark Hyen when he was here. And then I was the last guy to sign, so they gave me 35.
Nice.
But I didn't, but it's not a bad number.
Do you have like an affinity for it now? Has it grown on you?
I think so. I mean, I would have never picked it before, but now obviously, like if I got to choose, I don't know if they gave me a choice, I don't know if I would keep it. Maybe. I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Fair enough. Yeah. What would you have picked if you had the option?
I mean, obviously I like the lower numbers, but they keep those for the experienced guys. So, but if I could pick, probably 8 or 10 would be my ideal choice. Yeah.
That leads me into my next question. I might actually answer my next question. Do you see yourself as more of a creative midfielder or a more destructive midfielder?
I think that's something that I would like to work on more, for sure, is being more of a creative player. I feel like right now in the first team games, I'm more of a disruptor. But obviously, like I want to be the type of guy that's going to get subbed on, and like say we're 1-0 down, I'm going to come on and be the type of guy that's going to create something and get our team back into the game, rather than just being looked at as the guy that's going to come on and disrupt play. But I think it's for sure something that I can work on in the future and get better at.
Awesome. I won't say hello again because everyone else has said hello. However, I typically like to ask, especially the older players, who they like to model their play style off of. But you're fresh, you're young, you got a lot to learn from those around you. So who do you model your own play style after? Is it the Ben Norris experience is uniquely Ben?
I would say recent players that I've liked to watch is Kobe Manu on United. For sure, like just his composure and how he works hard. And he's a young player too that's just broken into the first team, kind of like me. So I feel like I would like to be more like him.
All right. You've also had a lot of coaches who have come in through the door this year. Is there any snippet from each one of those coaches that you've kind of like taken and kind of held on to for your own, knowledge and your own growth and development?
Yeah. Well, Paul I had in the academy, so I've known him for a while, and he's taught me, a lot of stuff that I didn't know before coming into the academy. Like I feel like he's definitely one of the guys that's really made me work harder in games and everything I do to give 100%. And then obviously Morton was really good for me too. That's when I debuted last season and all that. So every coach I've had has been good. Danny too, he's been really good for me with communication and talking and working through stuff. So I mean, every coach I've had, I've learned stuff from.
Awesome. I got 2 more quick questions. One, what advice would you give to, other youth who are looking to break in anywhere in the youth soccer scene, in the professional scene? What would you give them as advice?
I would say just believe in yourself, and if you have a dream, go for it. Because there's not a lot of opportunity to become a pro, and if you second guess yourself or don't take the opportunities that you're given, you won't become one. So I would say just go for the opportunities that you're given and give it 100%.
Awesome. And then last but not least, this one's a little poking fun. What are you going to do after the game on Saturday night when everyone else is out doing what the city I live in offers? And unfortunately, you still cannot partake.
I'm going to try to sneak out, but we'll see what the coach lets me. Yeah. We'll see.
Whoa. Careful. Danny's
Yeah,
not
I
listening.
wouldn't
Don't worry.
advertise that.
We're going to win the game. So after the win, we'll go do something.
Circus.
He's going to go to Circus.
No, I'll be smart.
See, that's why you're a pro, because the rest of the 18-year-olds probably not as smart. Ben, we do have some questions from our listeners. tonight. How comfortable are playoffs are coming? So how comfortable are you taking penalty kicks?
I'm comfortable taking them. I would hope to be on the field in that situation to take one, but obviously it's up to the coach. But I would like to take one if the opportunity is presented.
Other than that, how many goals realistically are you hoping to score for the rest of the year?
I would like to get I would hope to get 2 is my goal. I want to try to come on and be a more influential player attacking. So hopefully this weekend we can start that too.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Ben, hopefully you can hear. Oh, I'm sure you can hear them. Whether or not you can hear exactly what they're saying. What's your favorite Canada Line Coalition chant?
Oof. How does the County Roads one go?
I mean, I'm not going to sing it for you, but I think just mentioning it is probably enough for everyone to
Go ahead,
hear it
Larry.
in their heads.
I like the Partita one too. It's funny. And then the Sorto one is pretty good too. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Ben, we have some quick questions for you before I hand you off to Ray. What is your favorite vegetable, and how do you prepare it?
My favorite vegetable, I think raw carrots is how I would do it. Maybe with a little bit of ranch, some carrots and ranch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Ray, take it away.
I was gonna say, Ben, you picked the wrong dipping sauce for those carrots. You got to go blue cheese with those carrots, not the ranch.
Never tried it. I've heard it's good. Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna do. It's really not.
We're gonna go through. I'm gonna list. Do this 10 times. I'm gonna list 2 soccer players. You tell me who you go with. Who's your favorite? Which you pick. Quick. Don't think about it. Ready? Haaland or Mbappe?
Haaland.
De Bruyne or Modric?
De Bruyne.
Lewandowski or Kane?
Kane.
Messi, Ronaldo?
I'm gonna go Messi.
Neymar or Junior?
Neymar.
Mohamed Salah or Sadio Mane?
Salah.
Benzema or Griezmann?
Benzema.
Kimmich or Rodri?
Rodri.
Virgil van Dijk or Ruben Dias?
Van Dijk.
Bruno Fernandes or Jack Grealish?
Fernandez.
All right, perfect. There you go. You got past that.
Yeah.
We get to, people can listen to the names you chose and they can sort of get a better idea of what you do. And I don't know if you actually are picking based off of the real life person, the video game person. Hey, we don't know. That's all good.
Yeah.
Do you play?
I do play FIFA, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
How are you?
I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I know the controls, so I can play. Yeah.
We got to get you against one of the older players in the team that don't even know the controls and see how that match goes. Maybe we'll have to stream that on Twitch or something.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty fun. We should do that.
Who would win it out of everyone on the team on a EAFC tournament?
I would say, some of the guys that like to play video games, so Ashish or Sorto, maybe Bryce. I don't know. I've never seen him play. But Ashish and Sorto love to play video games. So.
All right. So, Club, if you're listening, here's a little social media sort of content if you want to get a little EAFC tournament going with some of these players and share some results on that. Brad, you want to jump back in really quick, Brad?
Yeah, I asked this one question at the last time we had a youth player, Jameson, on the show. And you guys alluded to it earlier, but who's the next academy player who's going to make the jump? Who should we look out for that's going to make a big scene, a big splash in next year's wave?
There's a lot of guys. I think right now that's signed, Bargiolo. I think he has good potential that we could definitely use in the future, especially him being a year younger than me. So he definitely has time to grow. I think guys that aren't signed, I really like Gavin Karam and Oliver in the midfield with me. There's some of the younger academy kids that haven't really broke into the first team yet, but I could see potential for sure for them.
Awesome. Well, Ben, I want to thank you. I know it's could be a little nerve-wracking jumping on to something like this and being interviewed and not know what questions we're going to ask you, but I will give you an A+ for your participation in the interview process. Do you have any last message you want to share with our fans, our listeners, either listening live, watching live, or that may be listening later in the podcast? Any message for them for the remainder of the season?
The only thing I'd say is that their support is really, really helpful to us winning, especially when they get behind us. So with these last couple home games leading into the playoffs, it'd be great if we can have everybody there and support us.
Awesome. Folks, Orange County midfielder, youngster, bright future ahead of him, Ben Norris. Ben, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us, and best of luck on the remainder of the season.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Ben.
Awesome. And I'm going to jump on, and I'm going to say this right now. People that have listened to this show in the past know I love a good yellow card. I am not someone that's going to be mad about a good yellow card. It just proves to me that you're being aggressive, that you're being physical, that you're trying to really get under the other team's skin. And I will take that as long as it's not dirty, as long as someone's not trying to go in trying with the mentality of I want to break someone's leg or I want to, injure someone. Just play physical, play dirty. If you get a yellow card for it, that's I love it. That's something that I love on there. All right. Well, let's do this. It's time to wrap things up unless anyone has any other soccer related stuff they want to talk about right now. Anyone?
There's lots of soccer related stuff throughout the world we could speak on.
I guess Larry wants to start talking about other soccer stuff.
Club. So we should just talk about Orange County Soccer Club.
Well, anyone have any last Orange County Soccer Club related stuff they want to discuss or talk about?
Brad, do you have any score predictions for us?
Yeah, that's actually a good
I guess
call
update that. Yeah.
It should be my show.
Yeah. Real quickly, like I said in weeks prior, Taylor is at risk of getting caught. She's been caught. Kayvon is 1 point off in their predictions, and Michael's 2 points behind, and somehow I'm now within 2 games of Taylor. So there's still 5 games left this season. The game's wide open for everyone at the top there. So keep getting those predictions in, and hopefully we see some shakeup at the top at the end of the year, and somehow I manage to stumble up there.
So what Brad is saying is I still have a chance.
You
let's
never
do
had
this.
a chance.
Let's go around table here and find out what we all learned on this episode. And I'm going to go first with Dylan. What did you learn, Dylan?
Yeah, even with the tech side of things, it takes a village, but we make it work anyway.
Oh, look! Here's what I learned today. I learned that someone actually wants to hear me talk about Tottenham and their beautiful 3-0 victory over the weekend against Man United, which was just beautiful. I was so sad I didn't get to watch it, and you're going to love this, why I didn't get to watch it, folks. I was coaching youth soccer. Brad, what did you learn on this episode?
I learned on this episode that teenagers will be teenagers, and color me surprised about that one. I thought my question was perfectly acceptable, and then got taken the other way. Got switch hit out of the park, using a reference from Larry's point of view in baseball.
A switch hit out of the park. How does that work, Larry? A switch hit out of the park?
No. Larry, what'd you learn this week?
He learned that Brad doesn't know how to use proper baseball terminology. That's what he learned.
You know what? But what I learned isn't important. What happened today is very, very sad. You will see my hashtag, Charlie Hustle, Hall of Fame, legendary Major League Baseball player, Pete Rose, one of my idols when I was growing up as a kid. He passed away today. All-time leader in hits. Don't wag your finger at me. The guy should be in the Hall of Fame, and I want to say rest in peace, Pete. You are a legend. And, I will say that I learned how to I learned how to watch an 18-year-old maybe not answer a question the way he should answer a question. But Ben was great being on the show. So we learned that Ben realized not very long ago that he was going to be a professional soccer player and make money.
I don't think Larry understood what this
today.
Of course I know about the Dikembe Mutombo, but I'm sorry, he's not as important as Pete Rose. Sorry, fact.
was. All right. La
Chris,
Naranja
what'd you learn?
Libre. What did you learn?
I'd like to start off by saying Dikembe Mutombo was actually my childhood hero, and I was actually going to use my moment here to talk about that, Larry. So thank you for teeing that up for me.
Talk away, man. Don't get me wrong. I loved him too. He was awesome.
But obviously, like don't end on a sour note. But yeah, Dikembe Mutombo was super meaningful to me in my childhood and what he brought to the city of Denver when I was a youngster just learning the game of basketball. So obviously, sad to loss of him today. Great philanthropist as well. So definitely the world is a sadder place with Mr. Mutombo gone. And then I will, on a lighter note, echo to everybody else's sentiment that we need to give Ben some coaching on if you're going to break the rules, make sure you don't tell everybody before you do it. So just some advice that we'll make sure that he gets for the next time. But definitely, appreciate you guys having me on the show today. This is a lot of fun.
And if I recall correctly, Dikembe Mutombo's Denver Nuggets were the first 8th seed to knock out a 1 seed when they eliminated, I believe it was the Seattle Supersonics.
You are
back in
100% correct in
94.
all of that. Yep.
My basketball knowledge is still there, even though I don't follow it as much. Hey, folks, I want to appreciate everyone for listening, following us on this. If you can, give us a like, thumbs up, share a post about any of our content episodes. Follow us on any social media platform you can. It helps us because the more people that like and follow and share our stuff, the more people will see our stuff, which is always fun. Also, again, if you're a local business in the area that is looking to partner with a podcast that supports local soccer and other local businesses, please reach out to us, and we'd love to hear from you and see how we can maybe partner up and work together in supporting local. With that said, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everyone. Dylan, who do I mean when I mean everyone?
Truly everyone.
Truly everyone with the messed up microphone. Yes, I do. So all the supporters, all the listeners that were listening live and participating in this episode, thank you so much. For our guest that joined today, La Naranja Libre, Ben Norris, also Brad, Larry, I guess Dylan, producer Andy, I appreciate all the work that you put in there. Please support our podcast. Larry, you have something. What do you have to say, Larry?
I do. I'm sorry. I forgot to bring this up earlier. The game was September 25th against Phoenix. Never in the history, and I went back 10 years, never in the history of Orange County Soccer Club, even the OC Blues, had they ever lost a game on September 25th. Not once. It's never happened. And just happens that September 25th is my wife's birthday. So y'all can thank her. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Larry's wife. Okay, now we could do this. This is the wrap up of the show. Thank you for watching. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.